Hey crew, welcome back to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, and today I have a pick a card reading for you that is a little bit nostalgic and explores the past. So I was feeling very drawn today to figure out what your past life love story was about. So I'm going to try to uncover who you were as a person, maybe your profession, maybe your status in society, maybe your links with family members, who your partner was, and a similar kind of analysis for your partner. And then I'm going to try to, well, basically see what the cards have to say about how you guys met, how you fell in love, and what happened if you were, if you managed to get married, have children, or if your love dissolved. So we'll see what happens. And obviously, take this with a grain of salt. It's just a fun and entertaining reading, but who knows, maybe you might learn something really interesting or new, and maybe it resonates with certain aspects in your current situation and your attraction to specific types of partners, and maybe your love styles as well. Okay, guys? So you have 5 options today. We have here a red bracelet. I think this one, it has some Chinese symbols, so I think it was used to celebrate Chinese New Year. This one is a tiger's eye bracelet. This one is a fake pearl bracelet. This one is a black obsidian bracelet. And finally, we have the Sunstone bracelet. So, as I've accustomed you guys, please take a deep breath in before choosing each pile. Choose primarily with your gut. So, whichever number or set of cards or bracelets you feel drawn towards. And the reason I'm saying this is that if you choose with your gut and your intuition rather than your eyes, there is a higher likelihood that the reading is going to resonate more with you. Okay? Good. So I'm super excited to get into your pile. Okay, I'll see you at your pile, guys. Mwah! Hey, pile 1. You are the ones that were drawn towards this red bracelet. So this is your reading. Let's uncover what your past life love story is all about, or was all about. So I pulled some cards, I pre-shuffled them so that it's easier for us to just get on with the reading. And I have some cards from the Ryder-Waite Tarot and some from the Mary-El Tarot. Okay, so your cards are the 8 of Pentacles, Queen of Coins, King of Coins, fantastic already, 7 of Cups, the plot thickens, 3 of Swords, ouch, Page of Swords, the Devil. So, your past life story. You were definitely, oh God, I'm getting like this feeling of 16th century Europe merchants. You were a family. I have the feeling that you were, take it as you are, if you are male or female, take it as it applies. This I see as you and this as your partner. And I feel that this energy is how you both were individually working up towards the moment until you met, but also how you continued in your relationship. I feel like you both were self-made people. You came from backgrounds, maybe grew up in the countryside next to a farm, and you moved to the city when you were young, and you wanted to make a living for yourself. I feel like there were just very harsh conditions during that time. I feel like in your past life, as you were growing up, your childhood involved a lot of things that were missing from the household. Maybe there were frequent droughts in the region in which you were born and raised. Maybe they were, agriculture was not very abundant, so you went through bouts of actually not having much to eat. So you were, I feel like you had this kind of drive, this kind of need to take care of yourself, to become independent. I feel like you learned a lot of skills from your family and from the villagers or the farmers there that taught you how to cook and clean and sew, and they gave you a lot of interesting tips on how to prepare food and how to you know, maybe even build your own house and your own cart and take care of animals, because they can provide you with food and protection from thieves, and you know, they could also give you warmth in the middle of winter. Sometimes in the past, people used to sleep with animals in their own house, with the pigs and the horses and the cows, also because they were afraid that other predators like wolves or bears would eat them, but also that neighbors might steal them. And back in those days, before supermarkets, you know, the animals were people's livelihood. So I think you were this kind of person that had to kind of struggle and protect. I feel like a couple of your animals, you developed this very friendly connection with them, like you cared for them because they cared for you, you know, like you're very happy that you had chickens, or you know, you were very happy that you had a horse because, you know, chickens would give you eggs, so you're very grateful for that. And you know, horses could transport you to the city and back, so you were very grateful for that. And I feel like a couple of them died, unfortunately, or were taken away from you, and you suffered a lot. So you ended up somewhere in a city. I see somewhere around, you know, that kind of merchant cities, like how Florence was 16th century, or Delft, you know, like Holland, where those were centers of hustle and bustle right before the great exploration of new territories, you know, like North America or India. When they set out to explore, they like societies during those regions in Italy or in Holland, they were created, you know, they had the basis of society were a lot of merchant families. And I feel like you came from the countryside to the city, and I think that you met your partner in one of those, like your partner was part of a merchant family. And I feel like you are, yeah, it's becoming clearer right now. You were a very hard worker. So it's like you had this pride within you. It's like even if you come from a kind of more poor, or like not necessarily poor, but you know, resource poor kind of background, you had this pride that no, I can work for my money, and no, I don't have to, you know, sell my body to earn a living, or you know, I don't think it was in the cards for you to marry somebody very rich, because rich people tended to hang out with rich people, especially during those days. There were clear social classes. So I feel like you met your partner during like a fair. I see a fair in a square, in a town square, where a lot of people, there's a lot of activity, you know, fruits and vegetables were sold, and you know, animals were traded, and people were exchanging pots and pottery and, you know, their arts and crafts. People were buying and creating paints, and, you know, kind of learning from their masters how to become better at their crafts, you know. And I feel like you were there, and I feel somehow that you, I don't know why, but I think there was some like wooden paintings, like, you know how they used to have, like in Orthodox churches, they have a lot of paintings. Yeah, I'm trying to translate the word iguana. I don't know exactly how to translate that. It's more like a religious painting that decorates a church. So I feel like you were drawn towards that type of religious paintings, and your partner was there looking at it too, and he struck a conversation, and you told your partner that you're looking for a job, and they really liked you. They really liked the way you talked, they liked the way you looked, and they really liked how fresh and how you know, trustworthy you look. I feel like you have a very trustworthy, clean, proper kind of behavior, you know, and you were like very, you know, I'm gonna work for my money. I don't expect anybody to just hand me things, but you were looking for opportunities, and your partner offered you this opportunity to come and work for his or her family. And I feel like you took it head on, and you excelled at it very, very well. And it was a lot of like, you know, hard work, and lots of nights where I see you working by the candlelight. I think maybe you were sewing something, or painting pots. something like this, something that involved like a lot of meticulous work that would extend from the moment you woke up until the middle of the night. So I see you actually laboring at the light of a candlelight. Maybe you carry this into your present life, so you do enjoy working at nighttime or writing at nighttime, or writing emails at nighttime. I kind of feel like you have this specific quality about you, or you might enjoy hard work and effort in this lifetime because you brought it with you from a previous lifetime as well. And I think that this because you were so close, you developed familiarity, you got to know your partner more and more. They got so used to you being around the house, and they saw how hardworking you were and how dependable you were, that they just fell in love with you and they married you. So that's really, really interesting because, it was quite difficult back in those days to actually jump class, but you did that. You did that through your hard work, through your dependable, loyal, very meticulous personality. So you're a very good worker. You have a very strong, earthy, practical mentality, and I think you carry this into your present life. You might be drawn towards the world of finances or banking, or you're really into saving or preserving things. You might work in museums or architecture. You might be drawn towards architecture. So you're just very you're very much into, you have a builder's mindset, a worker and a builder's mindset. And but there's nothing kind of servile about you. You weren't a servant at all. So I feel like you also have quite a good and healthy sense of pride, especially pride in the work that you're doing. Like, I could imagine you being, after a lot of hard work, wiping the sweat off your brow and going like, this is it, it's accomplished. My quilt is finished, or my pots are completed. I feel like this person was very would spend a lot of time with you in the middle of the night, maybe talking to you. Maybe you would drink. I think that back then, I guess, what was the beverage? I'm not even sure if they already had tea and cocoa. I think that they might have. But I would imagine you guys just sitting around, by candlelight and talking to each other. I feel this person was really attracted to your neck. They used to kiss your neck very gently while you were working, and I think that's how the romance kind of started. It's very slow, very sweet. They would touch your hand, or your thighs, and just to make you feel comforted, and also let you know that they were sexually attracted to you. And I think that you had a lot of you consummated the first time when you made love. It was somewhere in a haystack, or it wasn't really, it was somewhere outside. It was very passionate and very quick, and you guys already know that you were in love with each other. So it was just, okay, let's just do this already, I feel like it might have been also after, a party or a celebration of somebody's birth, or I don't know, something that happened in the family, and everybody got together, and they even gave the people that were working for them and the servants, they gave them something to drink and something nice to eat, and then you guys got a little bit carried away, and yeah, by the end of the night you were exploring each other's body parts, but you kind of kept it a secret up until the moment when you got married, and it wasn't very long after that. I feel like you guys got married quite soon after the first time you had sex, and I think this was because mostly you might have been worried that you were pregnant. Okay, so how did your story continue then? I feel like the way it started, it was kind of very, very stable somehow. There were no surprises, there were no big difficulties, except the fact that you came from a less richer background than your partner, and you had to work in order to earn your place in that family, and in order to get your partner's respect and trust. And then you got married, and I think this is really interesting. I think that you grew beyond your means, and also Queen of Coins. I kind of see you in this Queen of Coins energy. You became with this Devil and the Page of Swords. I feel like you see how her hands in this image are outstretched. I think you grew and grew, and each year you got better and better. And I think also physically you also you became much more attractive the older you got. Maybe you had a lot of baby fat when you were younger, and it looked cute but not at all sexy. But as you grow older, you kind of shed that, and you became much more defined and much more authoritative, you know, like people would just, wow, okay, this is impressing, you know, the way you looked impressive, and you became, because of your hard work and of your partner's wealthy background as well, you could take better care of yourself. I see you starting to take care of how you looked and what you ate. You ate better. So it's like you develop this kind of really beautiful, generous, wealthy demeanor about yourself. And then I feel like because of that, a lot of people, and especially like the opposite sex, started becoming more and more attracted to you. And I feel that especially younger men. If you're a woman, it was younger men. If you're a man, it was younger women. And they would come, for example, and work for the family, and you would have to teach them a craft. And they would, for example, confess their love to you, or they would love to spend time with you. I see a lot of like codependency, like maybe young apprentices, that's the word. So young apprentices that were learning, that were eager to learn a craft, much like you were before marriage, would come to you because you were so good at what you were doing, and you had, I think, like you had this very generous and kind of wealthy air about you, and you're very good and trustworthy, you know, people would trust you easily. So they would come to talk to you, to be trained by you, and they would also slowly like feel attracted to you, you know, and develop feelings for you. And I see them being quite a little bit codependent in certain situations, maybe because you reminded them of a parent that they lost, or you created an environment of so much wealth and stability and growth around you that people could not help but be attracted to you, especially people that came from backgrounds that were not very stable, you know, or that were less richer. And you empathize with them because you knew what it meant, you know, to go without food for a while, to be young and to have to work hard. So yeah, I think that you became like really hot, you know. The older you got, you became hot, you became sexy, you drew people in, you had this really like almost hypnotic charm. I don't really see it, but maybe you started doing some spells or got a little bit into witchcraft, you know, and that might have enhanced your capacity to attract people, especially if they develop such codependent ways of being around you. Now, I think it's a little bit sad, but I think your partner gradually grew further away from you. I feel that your partner, with the Seven of Cups and the Three of Swords, okay, I feel like you might have cheated. So eventually with the devil energy, you expanded so much that you gave in. I feel one young apprentice in particular was somebody that deeply, like, wow, you know how the French say, coup de foudre. So it's like not love at first sight, but it's like really, you had a really passionate sexual affair with one of them. And when I say young, I don't mean like children, you know, I mean like older teenagers, things like that, or in their 20s, you know. Although back then, you know, they didn't have the child protection regulations that we have now. Anyway, let me not spoil this reading for you. So going back into the past and the love story. So your partner who kind of gave you this opportunity felt slightly betrayed. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, if you cheat on them, they feel slightly betrayed. And your partner did not react in a jealous or violent way because they are not this kind of personality. As I said, they gradually grew to love you. I feel like they are very steady. It could have been a Capricorn, a Taurus, or a Virgo. I see more of a Capricorn or a Taurus. But because they felt outshined by you, and because they loved you and they trusted you, and this problem that you became increasingly more attractive appeared, I feel like their heart was broken, and that they gradually retreated into some form of addiction. I think it was alcohol mostly. So they started maybe not spending nights at home, maybe drinking at the village pub or the town pub, spending more times, you know, playing chess or games or card games with their friends. maybe spending more time with their relatives. I feel that the father of your partner especially was a very sickly person, so they started spending more time with their sick parent, and your partner just gradually retreated. So it's kind of melancholic and sweet but sad at the same time. They didn't react violently, they didn't push you out of the house, you didn't have a divorce, but they just grew disenchanted and more melancholic and sad, and they escaped into the world of alcoholism. So I feel like, unfortunately, both of you did not have children, so you didn't have this comfort of actually stabilizing your love into somebody that you can both take care of, and somebody that would remind you of your best and worst traits, you know, as children do. And that would have been one of the reasons as well why, you know, you kind of started enjoying more and more the attention that you got from your young apprentices, and your partner gradually just escaped the connection. However, you maintained quite a high level of wealth and status throughout your life, and I don't think that your reputation was tainted in any way by that torrid love affair. I think, on the contrary, I think you actually developed a very good friendship with this young apprentice, and they might have actually become a well-known painter or carpenter in that town area. So I feel like it was beneficial. I don't really see, in spite of the fact that it's the devil, I don't really see abuse. I don't see anything like that. It was just a bit of a weird situation because you just emanated this sexual power, and you know, especially people that were kind of young, a little bit younger than you, felt attracted to it, and there was this teacher kind of student dynamic that you had with them. Okay, pile number 1. So that was the reading that I had for you. I hope it was interesting and illuminating. Yeah, this is what I could read in the cards. If you didn't enjoy it, feel free to pick another pile. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Just simply let this message slide. Remember, these are also for entertainment as well. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I'll see you in my next pickup card or astrological reading. Bye, guys. Hey, pile 2. Welcome to my channel. If you have chosen this tiger's eye bracelet, this is your reading. So I pulled cards from 2 tarot decks, the Ryder-Waite Traditional Tarot and the Mary-El Tarot. So let's see what your cards are. Wow, nice. 9 of Cups. King of Swords. The Hierophant. This is some really strong masculine presence. Could have been a man in another lifetime if you're a woman watching this. Or a man then and a man now. Yeah, and as I'm saying this, the Emperor came out. The Emperor. Ace of Discs. Whoa, Ace of Cups. 4 of Discs. Okay. The love story that I'm seeing in your past life was a journey of self-discovery. I'm sorry, but this is what I'm seeing here. Nothing in these piles is showing me a partner or a stable partner or somebody that you gave your heart and soul to. I see primarily a person that was working on themselves, a person that spent a lot of time secluded, outdoors. I see like boots. I see you sleeping a lot of nights under the starry sky. I see you climbing trees. I see a uniform. I think you were either military, you traveled a lot, you did not settle down, you did not you did not plant your roots, so to say, into a specific place. And as I'm saying this, it's like it's a lot of masculine energy here. So even as a woman, you were definitely a man in another lifetime if you chose this pile. And as a man, you were also a man, but a more kind of like free roaming, kind of I feel like you were a soldier to begin with in your life, and then gradually, perhaps because you've been fighting in a lot of wars, towards the second half of your life, as you started to grow older, you did not decide to settle down like many of your peers did, but you decided to go on a spiritual quest. I feel like in the first part of your life, you were a person with a very sharp wit. You were always first to jump in line, you know, to get into the action, you know, very brave. I feel like you were very attractive as well. Like, you know, you would, no matter how you looked, you just had this, you were oozing sensuality, you know, like you would know how to look at a person and invite them for a quick roll in the grass, you know, or something like that. You're very charming, and as I said, as a young man, because as I'm saying, I'm channeling that you were a man in a past life, you were very, very popular with the opposite sex, and I think also with the same sex. So yeah, take it as it applies, you know. And you spent a lot of times, especially in your youth, with groups of other men, obviously, because you were training, and a lot of body combat, a lot of, you know, spending time in the woods or in barracks, you know, barracks and tents. I see deserts, I see forests, I see mountains. You traveled a lot. I feel like you fought in a lot of different battles. And I feel like this was around the time of the First World War. So around that period, I think that you traveled quite a lot in your youth, and then in around towards like your 30s, you fought in the First World War, and then that produced some sort of spiritual awakening in you. I mean, the First World War was shocking because of the vast amount of people that were killed, and the fact that the weapons were developed so well that up until that point, that you could actually, you know, kill a lot of people quite quickly. Not as quickly as in the Second World War, where machine guns and other things, tanks, you know, developed even more. But it was the first time when we, as a collective consciousness, humanity, came to terms with our plutonic power, you know, our power to destroy ourselves, you know. So I feel like you were there, and I just see you wearing like brown khaki like uniform with like a strap on your chest, and you would have like your, you know, your Swiss knife and like your little bottle of water, and you would keep like in your chest like a small bottle of rum or something like hard liquor that you would drink from time to time, and you would smoke a lot as well. I see you at the end of, you know, around your barracks, like smoking, cracking jokes with your fellow comrades, whatever, you know, army colleagues, with other soldiers, basically. And I feel like you advanced through the ranks quite quickly. I feel like by the time when you participated in the First World War, you were already like a higher rank. I'm not familiar with military ranks, but I think corporal is quite high. You were clearly not just an infantry. You were not part of the infantry anymore. That was in your youth. But you were clearly something higher up. So you would command the respect of your fellow soldiers, and you would organize them and distribute things. But you were also, you remained in touch with this, I feel like you were just optimistic. Like no matter what happened, you were like, in the first part of your life, no matter what happened, you were like, yeah, my cup runneth over, you know, bring it on. And you're just like, even when you were in a higher rank, you still would participate in the field in battles, and you were very brave, and you were very, you managed to get away in situations where others were killed. You managed to survive. And I think that there was a running joke amongst your group of fellow soldiers and, you know, colleagues, that they would just think that you are like a cat with 9 lives. So I can hear them saying that. It's like, you're a cat with 9 lives, you know, you're just so lucky, you know, nothing can kill you. And I think that's also what promoted you quite quickly, your bravery, but also your capacity to escape, you know. And you were very, you're trying to teach this to other people, how to survive under such circumstances. But you were very good at what you were doing, and in spite of the fact that I don't see you enjoying killing, you enjoyed being in the military, you enjoyed to travel, you enjoyed the banter that was happening between you and your comrades. you enjoyed, you know, like I have the feeling that it made you feel like you're a man, you know, like a full man, like made you feel very manly and very badass. And it also attracted a lot of women to you. I feel like you had like a group, like you had some groupies, you know. And back in those days, being part of a military was still considered to be, wow, you know, an amazing thing. So you would tell them, I see that you had a lot of conquests, but you did not settle down. You might have had some love children, but you are not, you don't know of that. So I don't think that you were aware of the fact that you might have gotten 1 or 2 women pregnant. Because I think that if you were, you would have stood by your person. But in this case, I just feel like you were just, you know, giving yourself for a night of passion, telling them fantastic stories about your performance on the field, leaving them completely swooning over you, and then disappearing in the morning with the first break of daylight, you know, because you're like, no, now it's time to be a man again, you know. Whatever that means. Take it as it applies. Okay, I'm just saying what I'm seeing in the cards. And then I feel after you participated in a mass conflagration, as I said, I kind of channeled the First World War, but you maybe if this resonates with you, maybe you had some dreams about other kind of wars. I do see some conflicts in the desert as well. So I'm not sure, maybe somewhere in the Middle East or Turkey. It could have been something like that. So take it as it applies to the region where you feel more comfortable with and what you think that it might resonate with. You kind of rested for a while. So after this large conflagration, you had a change of heart. I think right around 30, your Saturn return in your past life, you had this moment where you're like, I'm just going to escape in the mountains for a little while and not talk to anyone. So you pulled a Scorpio on everyone and just completely disappeared to reflect on your life so far, you know, on all of your conquests. I feel that you did not have like an original family. I feel like maybe you were orphaned very young, or you were raised by a grandma and maybe you never knew who your dad was. This is why you kind of had this very strong attachment to the idea of being a man, you know, and what it takes to be a man. And you had kind of a skewed understanding of masculinity. But back in those days, I mean, you know, a lot of people had these kind of conventional understandings of masculinity and femininity, you know, and or at least so we are told. So I feel like you felt that, you know, you had to fight and you had to be sexually dominant, you know, to be a man. But all of a sudden, in this period of seclusion, you discovered gradually self-love and self-acceptance, and you developed a very beautiful connection with spirit. So I feel like you started praying, you started doing ablutions, like washing your body in ceremonial ways. You started working the land. I feel like you started giving to the community. So I think that maybe you felt guilty for some of the people that you might have killed, or, you know, during the battle, and you wanted to give something back. So you had like a spiritual awakening, a really, really deep one. And then you started maybe participating in church meetings. I feel like you retreated in a village that you fell in love with that village, basically. So it gave you a stability and a sense of innocence that your soul so craved, you know. And I feel like people accepted you very easily. They welcomed you into their homes because of the fact that you were a previous, you know, figure of authority. I don't think, I keep trying to think whether you stayed in a village in which a battle was fought and you helped the people, but I don't think, maybe this could apply for some of you, that, you know, maybe your battalion actually ransacked a village and then you stayed behind because you realized that people were suffering, innocent people were dying during this battle, and you had this awakening because you saw those innocent people struggling. So you stayed behind and you helped them build houses, you worked the land so that they could have like vegetables and things to eat, you helped them with the animals, you repaired roofs and cleared fountains, you know, so they could have water. I feel like you gave back to the community. You did something that was just, you know, honorable and courageous and kind, you know, like it was just like all of a sudden your emotions were unleashed, you know, after what I see as a very stoic kind of behavior, kind of like sarcastic approach to life and love and people. You just burst open emotionally, and you did this, you acted upon your emotions, and you became kinder and nicer and more giving and more compassionate. And I see this as well. So with the fact that you started giving back to the community with the Ace of Earth here, I see that people started giving to you. So they allowed you into their homes. They told you stories about their life. They gave you blankets. They cooked for you. They invited you in village celebrations. I feel like some families as well kind of wanted you to marry their daughters, you know, or like settle down and be part of the community somehow, and that was the only way that they thought of. But you were more drawn towards the village priest. You weren't really interested in that. I feel like you just fell in love with the idea that you were a spiritual person, and I think you really explored that. So you felt like, you know what, I fucked around during my teens, you know, I was a madman's about town, you know. I don't feel like I need sexual conquests anymore. Sexuality was not interesting to you anymore. You just felt like you were drawn towards reading ancient texts, towards finding the truth, towards finding meaning. What is life? What is, you know, what is my purpose here on earth? You know, how can I help? How can I be kind? How can I repair? You could have been guided into the spiritual awakening by a sense of guilt, as I mentioned at the beginning, but I think it's mostly... I think it just came over you. You had like almost like a Uranus awakening moment, and people gradually started giving to you, and I just feel like you felt all of a sudden like if you are kind rather than hurtful, you know, life supports you. It's almost like you felt the presence of angels around you. You felt blessed. You felt helped. And the older you got, the more like the village hermit you became, you know. You could have also maybe studied to become a priest, and you actually preached towards the later half of your life. And I feel like when you died, you were just so full of love. You were just so full of your connection with spirit that, you know, people held like a really great celebration, well, a funeral, a really great funeral, and they invited other people from other villages because, you know, your renown was spreading, and they felt like they lost like a spiritual leader, you know, a spiritual force in their community when you were gone. And I think you maybe, with the star here in the distance, I feel like you may be reincarnated into this lifetime, and you're quite a deeply spiritual person, and maybe in this lifetime you are more interested in settling down and having a commitment and being in love with someone, mostly because you were not so interested in that in your previous lifetime. So yeah, this is what I see. It's a really beautiful journey, mostly focused on you and your own development, but it's like it's about self-love, and it's about connection to spirit. So it's about loving others, loving mankind after a period of participating in destroying mankind, you know, yeah. I mean, I'm not in any way shaming people that are working in the military, but it is kind of a profession where it's very difficult because you do start to question and ask yourself really big questions when you have to, you know, attack or kill other people that they might be a different culture, they might be a different race or a different religion, but they are still people, you know. So I feel like your spiritual awakening involved a lot of these really big, deep questions, and I feel like you were asking for some sort of forgiveness from spirit for not having seen how similar people are and how alike you are to other people that you might have considered as the enemy in the past. I feel like in this lifetime, ironically, you might fall in love with somebody that was perhaps killed in a conflict in which you were involved. So it's almost as if spirit is trying to connect you with somebody from a previous lifetime in order to heal you deeply, but also to heal that other person that might have been shot, you know, innocently, or who knows what happened in a conflagration. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but, you know, a lot of crazy, chaotic things happen on the battlefield, and I do feel like it's very beautiful how it would link into this current lifetime, and you actually falling in love with the soulmate, the person that you've known in a past lifetime, but in a different way. Okay, wow, that felt like super, got a bit deep, you know, like, yeah, but beautiful at the same time. I hope you've enjoyed it. If this did not resonate, feel free to pick another pile. Anyway, I'm super happy that you're here and you decided to listen to this. I'm going to come back with another reading very soon, so please stay tuned. I love you, pile number 2. Take care. Mwah. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to my channel. I'm super happy to have you here. You are the ones that were drawn to this pearl bracelet. So let's see, I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat. I pre-shuffled the cards so it's easier for me to actually just get on with the reading. I pull cards from the Ryder-Waite Tarot and from the Mary-El Tarot, and this I feel is my pile as well. So let's see what kind of messages we have. Ooh, the Knight of Swords. Queen of Cups. The Ace of Wands. Oh my god. Oh wow, this is already... Okay. The Knight of Cups. 2 knights. 9 of Cups. The Lovers. And the 6 of Discs. If I'm not mistaken, this represents Gabriel. So, oh my god. Okay, I'm feeling super happy that I chose this pile. This is a really, really movie-like love story that's happened to you guys, and I guess to me as well. Yeah, okay. It resonates. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of time because I had a reading done to me a while ago, and it resonates a lot with some of the things that were said then, and I find it so a little bit shocking and tingly. I get warmed up when I see the fact that it's again confirmed that this is what happened. So okay, moving back to a reading for you. I feel that you are this kind of energy. You could be a woman or a man that was a woman in a past life, but the Queen of Cups is definitely you. And I feel like your partner is this Knight of Swords. And do you see how he is charging with his swords almost aggressively towards her? The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck. It's also the most intellectual and the one that, you know, reasons feelings. While the Queen of Cups is the most emotional queen in the deck. She is the one that is quite moody, quite secretive, but like is able to nurture and mother and create an environment where people feel emotionally sustained. I feel like you were supremely feminine in another lifetime, in your past lifetime. You were like a beautiful, it's a little bit like the cliche of a beautiful princess, you know, or a woman that was part of not necessarily a rich family, but a family where you were protected, you were overprotected almost. You were kept very safe. I feel like your father was a very morose and kind of a person that loved you deeply and would protect you, you know, would build fences around you, would schedule periods of seclusion for you, would completely get worried if there were conflicts, you know, happening in your town or your area where you lived. So he would always prioritize your paternal figure, would always prioritize your safety, and would be worried about your protection all the time. And I feel like this energy, the partner, your lover, is somebody that you fell in love with at first sight. This is confirmed as well by the Lover's card, and also the Nine of Cups. I feel like you both were, and the Knight of Cups, I mean, I feel like you both were very stable by yourself. So you might not have been materially stable. So I don't really see that you guys were overwhelmingly rich or part of a family of politicians or kings, or no. I feel that you were just emotionally, you guys were very full already the moment you met and you fell in love at first sight. You didn't feel like there was anything lacking. You were quite happy with your protective family. I feel like you maybe were part of a family, like a bourgeois family, like a middle class. I feel like you guys had a really beautiful garden and a nice house. It wasn't like the best, prettiest, largest house, but in your home, you felt safe and you felt like you could talk to your parents and you felt like they listened and they didn't force you to do anything you didn't like. So in spite of the fact that you are very feminine and nurturing, and I think they're quite beautiful in an almost innocent-like way, you waited, you wanted to wait until you got married, and there were a lot of suitors that were coming to your home, and I think this might have triggered your dad's overprotectiveness of you as well, because obviously your father wanted to protect you, that those men were not doing anything out of the ordinary with you. So I feel like you welcomed a lot of men in your parlor, in the library, in the garden. You would take walks with them, talk to them. You're very kind, very nurturing and listening. You know, you were listening to their stories and trying to encourage them. And these were like, you know, up and coming doctors and lawyers and men of high status, you know. And I feel like you were just, you're thinking, yeah, okay, I think I have one maybe or two. I feel one in particular drew your attention. Very kind, shy kind of person, very well educated. And you were kind of like, okay, let's just see, you know, it's okay. But you were very patient, so you were taking your time with your decision. And as I said, like, I feel your cup, and in this one is even more beautiful because it actually shows the cup. I feel like you were very content. You didn't feel like you need a partner. And then came this guy. And I mean, Ace of Wands, right? It was love at first sight, you guys, and attraction at first sight. So I think that this person, the moment they saw you, they just got hard. This person was ultra attractive to you. They wanted to just rush and take you, you know, on the spot immediately. I feel like this person, however, did not have such a good reputation or did not come from a stable family. I mean, they felt emotionally full, just like you, but I feel like they were a little bit, I wouldn't say player, but a bit of a dandy, you know. I feel like they had a temper, and they were very like, they would have a lot of friends that they would meet in the cities. I'm kind of getting like Paris or France, like the situation happens somewhere in a French-speaking region, and I see like a bourgeois family that you were part of, and the garden as well, and the way the house is decorated, your home house. And maybe you lived on the outskirts of the city, and this person was actually living in the middle of Paris and had a lot of friends. They would go drinking with their friends. They would party with people of dubious quality, you know, maybe going out and to the can, you know. They had a very, like, a really eclectic group of friends. Like, they were artists and painters and soldiers and even students. Like, they had, you know, I feel like this person was very industrious. If they needed someone or they needed something, they would immediately identify a friend that they could help them with, you know. If they needed financial advice, they would go to that person. If they needed I don't know, a hookup, they would go to that person. If they needed painting drawn or a lock of hair or something like that, or a gold ring, they would go to specific people, you know. And I feel like they were very popular, you know, so as well, like very popular, very industrious, but they didn't come from such a wealthy background. They were not as overprotected as you were. They had, I feel like they had a rougher childhood than you did. I feel like they came from a family, maybe a large family, and they were like the third or fourth child. They were kind of neglected by their parents, and therefore they were kind of, they needed to make themselves stand out in some way. They needed to draw attention to them. And they learned from a very young age to survive and to protect their hearts. So they were completely shocked when they met you, and they didn't expect their body to react in a very boom. But it's also kind of a spiritual connection here, so I don't want to focus too much on the physical qualities, but there was so much passion between you guys. And I feel like your connection, so as I said, love at first sight. You guys saw each other and you were like, this is my person, this is my person. But then you kind of sobered up a little bit, then you realized, oh, but you were worried about your parents and what they would say, and this person was worried about their reputation. It's like, I can't just be together with a bourgeois, overprotective princess, you know? And you were like, I can't be together with a potential, you know, unstable player. Or whatever, dandy. I'm trying to think of a turn of the century French kind of word to classify a guy that was having a Tinder profile or something. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah. We can get creative on this channel, can't we? Yeah, of course. And it was meant to be for you guys to meet and to fall in love. I feel like your connection was guided by angels. Archangel Gabriel in particular was the orchestrator of your meeting. It's the angel of the communication. And I think that meeting you was a reward. You were a gift in this person's life. I feel like this person, in spite of the fact that they are so brash and trying to overcompensate and trying to be like, oh, look at me, I'm okay, I'm awesome, they are kind-hearted. So they were kind-hearted, and that was one of the things that it's almost like you saw through them, because you were so intuitive and so emotionally developed and mature. You saw their kind heart that they were trying to mask underneath this, oh, I'm so cool and so intellectual, and I just want to, you know, play around. I don't want to commit to anything. But they had a kind heart, and they fell in love with you the moment they saw you. And I think in relation to you, you guys started secretly seeing each other. Maybe you took a course and you decided to take a course and you had to go to the city, and you would meet this person in cafes. This person would introduce you to their friends, and you started opening up to the world more. Then you would go, this person would come to visit you around your parents' house, but maybe because they knew they were not welcomed because of your father in particular. Your father would be very stressed out by this man, I can imagine as well. You would go on long walks around in the natural landscape around your home. So you spend a lot of time, you know, walking on meadows or in gardens of flowers, you know, especially in the summertime. I see you guys on a field kissing, and there are cricket sounds, and it's, you know, beautiful, beautiful, like light summer weather, you know. And in autumn as well, I see you guys kissing. So your relationship kind of, you know, it lasted a lot. It changed with the season, but this person kept coming back to you and wanting more from you. And you were the same, you know, you just felt like this. You felt like when you were together, like you were the same person. You did not see where they would end and you would begin. And when you held each other, I feel like you felt like, you know, you were home, you know, like you didn't need to have a physical home. You were at home within each other's bodies. I feel like it took a very long while before you guys actually had sex. And that was mostly because I think you were concerned that you might get pregnant, and you wanted to do everything by the book because of your family. You didn't want to upset them. But I think you guys really enjoyed this, and through the fact that you were so patient and kind of raising up these boundaries with this man, you slowly transformed the Knight of Swords into the Knight of Cups. So he gradually was able to open up more and more to you, to tell you about their childhood, about their past, about, you know, what they were dreaming of, what their plans for the future. I feel like this man really wanted a baby, and they really wanted a baby with you. I feel like they were a bit worried because financially they were not very stable. So they were very concerned about your family rejecting them or denying them access to you because they just did not have enough money yet, but they were working towards that, you know, and they were using all of their friends and all of the resources that they had to try to impress you, you know, like I see them organizing like a very sweet romantic dinner for you in the attic, like maybe they lived in the attic in Paris because, you know, they were the cheaper kind of accommodations back then, and you know, they would get like a bottle of wine from their friend, you know, they get some roses from a florist that, you know, they once had a fling with or something like that, you know, and like a tablecloth from I don't know, somebody in the village that was like a maternal figure to them, and they made like a really beautiful romantic dinner for you one night, you know, and that could have been the moment when you guys actually had sex for the first time, and I think it was super beautiful, super beautiful, like long deep stares, can't take my eyes off of you, you know, holding you in my arms the whole night, you know, cuddles, whispers, I love you, all of that cheesy, beautiful, romantic package. Oh God, it's like, oh, this is so beautiful. And I think it's especially resonating with me because I picked this pile and maybe there is some sort of like ancient memory coming back. I think that if this connection was so strong, Major Arcana and Archangel Gabriel, I think if this connection was so strong, you might meet somebody in this current lifetime that you will instantly recognize, and they will instantly feel like home. And this is the person that you had this love story with. The thing is, I don't really see how your story ended. I think I might need to pull more cards for that. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure whether you guys... I don't think you separated, but I don't really see you having a family or stabilizing. A fountain. There was something with a fountain that happened. Did you guys see the fly? Oh my God. So interesting. And it's not fly season or anything like that. It just came in. Maybe you guys had to depart. Maybe one of you flew away from the other, or you were separated by your parents. But I don't see you falling in love with anyone else, and I don't see them falling in love with anyone else. It's a mystery. It's a really deep mystery what happened. But I feel like, do you see the two white flowers here? The white tower and the black tower, the moon. The moon cycles were guiding your romance. So whenever the moon was full, your emotions would overflow, and whenever the moon was new, it's like you're planting new seeds and pushing your connection further. So I feel like in this lifetime as well, if you guide yourself by the cycles of the moon and you just set intentions on each new moon and full moon to reunite with the soulmate, I feel like you've got helpers in the outer realm that are making this connection come to life. Sorry, I was a little bit out of focus. Making this connection come to life again. I feel like spirits and ancestors and your guiding animal spirits, they want you guys to be together again. So if you might meet this person again in this lifetime, you will feel the same. A lot of the things that happened in your previous lifetime will happen. The moment you meet them, you will fall in love at first sight with them. You'll feel as if you're incredibly at home with them. And you might you might see a lot of synchronicities, and animals might be drawn towards you. You might see a lot of animals, especially white dogs, white rabbits, white cats. They don't really have to be white, but white in general is a harbinger of good luck, a boon of prosperity and good fortune, especially in terms of animals. So yeah, I feel like, and also see the white baboon here. Yeah, white. I feel like you guys, I don't see it. I really don't see it. I don't think that you died together or anything like that. But you could have been separated. And maybe you're getting another chance in this lifetime. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a mystery for the time being, okay? I could pull some other cards, but you know, I don't feel like I should. I feel like this is as much as Spirit wants me to tell you at the moment, and wants to let me know about this, because it's the pile that I've also felt drawn towards. So it's all in all, it's absolutely gorgeous. And if you haven't met this person yet, prepare, okay? Because this is gonna be something really, really beautiful, really gorgeous. And if you meet this person and if you feel those things for them, please don't doubt that. Please just go for it. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I want to say something personal, but I'm gonna stop there. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you haven't, if it did not resonate at all, then feel free to choose another pile. Just let the message slide. It was just not meant for you. I've really enjoyed doing this reading. It touched me deeply, honestly, and so far you've had the big life love story in a previous past life. So yeah, I hope you guys, you know, reunite with your soulmate and actually make it happen. Make heaven on earth happen again. Okay, guys, so I'll see you in my next pick a card reading. Bye for now. Mwah! Hey, pile 4, if you have chosen this black obsidian bracelet, this is your pile and this is your reading. I pre-shuffled the cards from the Ryder-Waite Tarot and from the Mary-El Tarot so that I can just get on with the reading. So the cards that you got regarding your past life love are the 4 of Wands, the 7 of Cups, the Empress, the 6 of Coins, and from the Mary-El, oh yeah, you were one of the piles with the most. So you have the Queen of Wands, 9 of Swords, the Hierophant. Interesting. 7 of Cups and the Hierophant came out. Oh my god, and as I'm saying, the 7 of Swords. 7 of Discs! Oh my god! Oh god, I love it when they do that. So, yeah, so you got 777, okay? 777, angel love number. Check out the meaning, Google it, and it might carry an extra message for you about your past life love connection. 7 is a deeply spiritual number. People that are born life path 7s have a haluva of interesting experiences in their lifetime, and it's all about honing their spirituality. It's all about connecting with spirit and creativity and their divine sense of self. Okay, so this is gonna be great. Interestingly enough, what I was trying to say is that the 7 of Cups and the Hierophant appeared in the first and the second pile as well, but your reading is slightly different. God, I have the feeling like you're, oh wow, this is really moving way back in time. So Babylon, your past life love, you're like a really ancient soul. Either you reincarnated several times, or you reincarnated, you lived a very long time ago, and now you decided to reincarnate in the modern age. So it's kind of like an all or nothing extreme kind of soul journey that you've chosen to be on with spirit. So I feel like you were incredibly lush during those times, like during Babylon times, you know, ancient Sumeria, Mesopotamia, you know, the gate of Ishtar, that place, the cauldron of all civilizations in Europe and the Middle East, you know. It was the place where, for example, Syria, you know, is currently based today, and unfortunately was destroyed by the war. But back then, it was the cradle of civilizations, you know, and it was a beautiful area, and like, not only due to its abundance of natural resources and, you know, pearls and spices and like semi-precious stones, and people raising temples to venerate mostly goddesses. So mostly before we had the patriarchal turnaround with the Dark Ages and Christianity, or Judeo-Christianity, people used to pray, people were mostly pagan, and they used to pray to female deities because they connected the the female birthing body and the female capacity to bring babies into this world, with how Mother Nature and Gaia, you know, would give them vegetables, fruits, and everything, nourishment, you know, would protect them. So the mystery of life and the mystery of nature were combined, and people used to pray and make sacrifices to female deities most. And I feel like you were, this card also speaks about that. I feel like you were, like you had a very, I feel like you were a female in that life, and I feel like you had very strong spiritual demeanor. Like you were kind of like a high priestess, or a very benevolent matriarch that would take care of a lot of people in the community. And you would, I see that you would have a very special house or a tent, or you would live in a very beautiful cave. You know, people back then had all sorts of improvised accommodation, let's say. But they were connected, deeply connected to the environment around them. So, and you had like precious stones around you. You could burn incense. You had bones from animals, and you know, you would collect things. You would create spells, potions, but not in a, like, not because you were playing around to be a witch. No, because back then, you know, witches were the pharmacists of the community, and witch doctors or wizards as well. You know, they were the doctors of the community back then. So you would heal people. People would come to you for advice, and I see you as being very confident, very, you would teach people about sexuality as well, you know, about, maybe you would even participate in births, like you were, like a doula, you know, the equivalent of a modern day doula back then, and you would like chant and help women give birth, and it would be like a community celebration when this happened, because life was so important back then, and survival was so important when, prior to the discovery of penicillin, right? So you were just very sought after, the life force of your community, very maternal, but also quite dominant. So like a dominant, beautiful, powerful, spiritual female energy. And you really loved the environment in which you were. You thought that it nurtured you, that it enhanced your powers. You're so connected to your place of birth, whichever city you were born in. I think Damascus, or the equivalent of, you know, Damascus next to the river Tiber, or something like that. It was just very, like, you're so connected. I see a body of water running around your house, maybe some desert landscape with some bushes, like olive bushes, mandarin or citrus fruits. It was just very beautiful, very lush, you know, and you were just very knowledgeable and very in touch with the rhythm of the moon, with the sun, solar healing. You could have practiced solar healing as well. You were just badass, okay? And again, with the Hierophant, and it's represented here in a female form. Yes, this is just extra confirmation. And the Empress, I forgot about this. Okay, so yeah, okay, bam, okay. However, I do feel that okay, so do you know the myth of was it Samson or King Solomon? There was a myth in the Bible about a king that was very powerful, and his hair is cut off. Let me know down in the comments, guys. I think it was not King Solomon, but I think it was Samson. Samson and Delilah. Yeah, definitely. So Samson fell in love with Delilah, and Delilah actually, you know, conspired to bring him down and take his power away. And she knew from their pillow talk after lovemaking that his power resided in his long hair. So she conspired to cut his hair in the middle of the night and thereby steal his power. I'm sorry to say, but I think something similar happened with you and your partner. I feel like you were attracting a lot of people because of the fact... There's that fly again. Sorry guys, I don't know why. You know, just burning some incense, maybe that's why. Rose incense. So maybe there was something like that. Maybe a campfire, burning something, and you had a person gravitate towards you. A person that was quite charming and alluring. They seemed very generous. They were helping the community much like you. And I feel like they started helping the community when they saw you doing that and being so respected. Basically, it was a person that they appeared in one way, but actually deep down inside they were very different. And they were a bit of a thief and a bit of a crook. And I feel like they were they were attracted towards you, and they might have started a relationship with you based on guidance. So they came to you for some guidance, and they started lingering around your house, your home. They started like wanting more from your time, wanting to interact more with you. They started doing things for people in the community around you. Maybe they even settled their own tent, or they settled in the place where you were living so that they could see you more often. They were drawn to all the campfires and spells and births that you were participating in, and they would help you out as well. So they gradually developed this connection with you. Wait just a second. Sorry, Pal 4, I just had to shut the window because there was a dog barking outside and it was annoying me. So yeah, barking, right? Commotion. There was a lot of commotion around you. As I said, you are this person that gravitated. A lot of people gravitated towards you because of your sheer light and presence and amount of self-love and love for other people. This person was one of them, and they kind of promised you comfort. They wanted to help others so that you would notice them. They wanted to help you so you would take them in your circle. I felt like this person also had a lot of sex with you. They pleased you and they were trying to please you. Like all of the sexual things you did together were geared on you, towards you, focused on your pleasure and your satisfaction. But mostly because this person wanted to know your secret, steal it, and then run away with it and use it for their own benefit. So this person could have lied to you and told you that you were, you know, I'm in love with you, or you are amazing, and you might have had, you know, you might have felt like you needed a counterpart, you know, you needed somebody to share your life with. You know, every powerful woman sometimes feels the need for comfort and love and support from a partner. And I felt like you had those moments as well, especially if you're giving back so much to the community, right? And you took this person as a lover, and yeah, they appeared really beautiful at the beginning. And I feel like you guys even, maybe you got married as well. I mean, I don't know how relationships were back in those days, but you know, people tended to officiate certain relationships so that in the eyes of others, in the eyes of the community, it would be something moral, and you know, you would recognize that the other person is your person, you know. But they were less formal and contractual like they are nowadays, right? So it was more about the spiritual aspect of it. It's mostly like if you had sex and if you had it during the night of a full moon, that was it. You guys were linked soul-wise to each other, you know, or you got some rings that showed that you belonged to each other, and that another person could not have you sexually, you know. So that was about it. It was more about promises. It was more about symbolism and the connection with nature, from my understanding of reading some text about that time. So you guys went through a period of like very like prosperity. You felt like you were settling down with this person. You felt like this person was nurturing you, like they were giving a lot to you and to other people. But unfortunately, they betrayed you. They stole something from you. I don't think that they stole your power, because I do see that you rebounded quite easily. But you, after this person kind of took something away from you, it's not that your heart was broken, because I don't think that you were deeply in love with this person. I think it was more like you liked the companionship. You liked having somebody there to help you, you know, to worship you, to be by your side, you know, to affirm your femininity in a sexual way as well. But I feel like you started becoming a little bit destructive afterwards. So all of the things that you were doing for the community stopped for a while you had to deal with all the venom that this person infested you with, you know. It's almost like a snake bit you, and you had to get rid of the venom in your body. Like you had to get rid of the thieving energy of this person. Maybe they were like an energetic vampire and you didn't realize it. And I feel like you could have actually started some literal fires of anger, and you know, you felt your pride was wounded and you felt betrayed. You might have shouted at the gods, why has this happened to me? You know, and maybe you felt really deeply saddened, and I feel like you were just like questioning your connection with the divine. But the community and your previous work and all the other, you know, the babies that you helped bring into the world, and the families that were living around you, and the fact that you were in a beautiful place that you loved so much, they healed you. I see a lot of healing, a lot of people coming to your house, cooking for you, chanting with you. I see a lot of outdoor processions. I see maybe some sacrifices being made as well, like some lambs, you know, being roasted, things like that. I feel people made delicious brews for you that you could drink, and that you fasted for a while and you couldn't eat because you were so disgusted. But sorry, that was my laptop, sorry guys. But yeah, exactly, maybe people sang for you, maybe they wrote poems to you. The community came in because they wanted you to continue to be the spiritual life force. You were their empress in a way. So in spite of whatever this person took from you, you could have actually been a real empress. Now that it crosses my mind, you could have been like a, you know, somebody of a, like preordained, you know, somebody that was the daughter of a very, like of a king, or, but I do see you as being on your throne by yourself, right? And this person then came, made you fall in love with them, or kind of offered a lot of things to you. Again, I'm not saying like deep, deep love, but like infatuation, sexual infatuation. Then they went away and you had to purge your energy. And I think that afterwards you became, so after you processed your feelings, you became very, very, not withdrawn, but it's like you leveled up spiritually. You leveled up spiritually, and I think with the Hierophant here, I think this represents you. I think you did not take any other lovers after that, but you did take a lot of other responsibilities, like you took care of animals or children whose parents had died, you know, the forgotten, the weak, the weary. You took them under your wing. So if before you were a little bit, you know, you were just very in your sexual power and very kind of like resourceful and dominant, it's like this relationship, this lover, this partner kind of almost gave you a lesson in being a little bit more humble. And after you processed everything and you burned stuff to the ground, and you know, the village came in and they helped you, or the city, wherever you were, the community came to help you, you leveled up spiritually, and you realized, my people need me, you know. You put the good of others in front of your own sexual or romantic fulfillment due to this disappointment. You might carry this from another lifetime. So in this present life, you are, maybe you have a south node in Aquarius or in Libra. So you kind of worked for others, for the benefit of others. So in this lifetime, you kind of need to grow into your North Node in Leo or North Node in Aries. So you need to become this independent, creative life force again. Yeah, but that's kind of what I see for you, pile number 4. Sorry about the minor interruptions and the sound in the back, but you know, I love to integrate these details. They color the reading in a very different way. So as I said, you know, details are what makes a story beautiful. Okay guys, I'm not going to keep you too long. Thank you so much for being here. If this did not resonate, pick another pile, and I really hope to see you guys again in one of my next readings. Love you guys. Bye. Bye-bye. Hey pile 5, for your reading I actually had to turn the lights on and light some candles because the natural light outside is kind of dimming down. There could be something here about lighting fires, taking, you know, getting all the lights on. So let's see what cards you have. I pre-shuffled the cards so I can just get on with the reading. And you have cards from the from the Ryder-Waite Tarot, and from the Mary-El Tarot. Mercury is still in retrograde, guys. I'm not blaming it, but I'm just, you know, it's a lot about the intuition rather than the logic at the moment. You also had a lot of cards, and I decided to pull all of them. So let's see what your past life love story is about. So you have the Ace of Cups. Really good beginning. The Ace of Pentacles. The Knight of Coins. The Six of Cups. The King of Cups. You guys, these are amazing cards. The Lovers. This came out for a pile of 3. And the Four of Coins. Okay. Okay. Let's see what. And you also have from the Mary-El Tarot the Three of Wands, the Six of Swords. This is Archangel Raphael, and the Ten of Swords. I'm so happy. Like, this is again one of those big romance kind of pile, much like pile number 3 was. Yeah, so there's a really, like, a little bit of an epic story that I'm channeling here. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna say what I feel like. I just got a message, like the Romanovs, the Russian dynasty, the family that ruled Russia for 4 centuries almost, right? The famous ones, the final family, the last branch of the dynasty, ended during the time of Rasputin and the Bolshevik Revolution. So maybe you know a little bit, or you've heard about that. But I just felt that, I don't know why, but this Knight of Coins kind of inspired me to think about Rasputin all of a sudden. So maybe this love story was taking place in Russia, right about the time of the change from an empire to a communist state, you know, with the Bolshevik Revolution. So I think I'm just trying to understand who is who, whose energy is whose. It's a little bit muddled. Okay, there are a lot of people here. What is happening? Okay. Oh God, guys, I'm getting different timelines as well. So it's not just Russia, but it's England as well. England at the turn of the century as well. And then I'm getting Portugal as well. I don't know why, but your past life love story is a love story that's been trying to come into being around 3 or 4 previous lifetimes. So do you know how a soul can incarnate lifetime after lifetime after lifetime? And the Buddhists already believe that, you know, we come back because we are karmically bound to finish certain relationships or to produce dharma, and then we might be allowed to reach heaven and reach nirvana if we actually complete our karma here. So some souls are deciding once they die, if they have not completed their karma, to reincarnate. And I think this is you guys. You and your partner have been chasing each other around for several different lifetimes, and it's so hard for you two to meet. That's the thing I'm getting here. So it's like you guys had a love affair during the times of the Romanovs in 19th century, like the end of the 19th century Russia. You were in Portugal as well quite recently. I see the 40s or the 50s. You were like at the turn of the century, but like the 18th century, like beginning of the Victorian age in England. during the time of the exploration of America, I see like Rapids, Michigan, like when, you know, when America was expanding and kind of when there was the gold hunt, you know, and the way that they were exploring and mapping out the West as they were building the train lines. I see that you guys had a house by the lake. It was frosty, Michigan weather. Yeah, it's not really, you know, exotic climate, right? It's more of a temperate continental climate. So yeah, I see so many different lifetimes, and I see this person chasing you through all of these lifetimes. And the Knight of Pentacles actually tells me that this connection has been coming, you know, for a while now. It's very slow moving, but there is a person that has been chasing you throughout all these different scenarios in that many different lifetimes. But here's the catch, because this is why I'm not seeing that you guys actually met and had your love affair. And I think that with these two cards, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Coins, and the Lovers, I am genuinely getting the feeling that you are meant to be with this person and find them and connect and have the romance of a lifetime with this person in your current lifetime. Yes. This makes me feel so happy. And I think it's because okay. Oh, sorry about that. But I feel like you guys but then how is this person chasing you? I feel like you guys were children, so you did not, you weren't able to reach a full age of maturation. This is why you couldn't be together. This is why you couldn't find each other. I feel like you guys, with both of these children here, you wanted to start your lives, right? To find each other, to grow into adults and, you know, go off to explore and find your partner. But you either died very young. Yeah, I see that. I see like baby caught death syndrome. I see babies, oh God, like frost again with the whole Michigan thing. Like you were young and you fell in the water and you frosted. Or I see dysentery, you know, and dysentery, sorry, and like they're being very sick and very poor and very tiny and part of a large family. Is Russia. Yes, exactly, in Russia. You're somewhere, I see you wearing like this fabric, like a potato sack fabric, you know, like very poor people would wear that, and you were very dirty. One of you, so I think you both were reincarnating in different landscapes, in different temperatures, in different climates, and you were born, both of you, at specific times, and neither of you could make it to full adulthood. And I think this is why there is this guardian angel with you. I think especially Archangel Raphael is guiding you guys. So if you are thinking about reuniting with your partner in this lifetime and actually meeting this person and having finally this love affair that I feel like you guys are meant to live out, and I think this is why it's happening in this current lifetime, because nowadays, you know, with the advancements in medicine and, you know, everything that we have at the moment, all the resources that we have, you actually can grow into these adults, and possibly you are already an adult if you're watching this. I hope, because, you know, my channel is not for children. So yeah, oh my God, oh wow, this is really like, it's been coming and coming, because I feel like I'm channeling here something really, really deep and kind of like through several timelines. So it took me a while to piece it together. I'm sorry about that. So I feel that, oh my God, you could be a same-sex couple as well. So you could be two men that are gonna fall in love with each other. One of them more pragmatic, the other one more emotional, but one of them being slightly more developed than the more pragmatic one, especially not only spiritually, but maybe even financially, or in terms of the community that this person has built. Or you could be a heterosexual couple, but you both are very, you both have a very well-developed masculine side. And maybe it is because of the fact that you had to survive in this lifetime. So you came and you were like, your souls were from the beginning, oh, come on, you know, let's just survive in this lifetime, okay? Because you carried the memory, the emotional attachment to all those deaths, you know, you died and died and died and died and came back, you know. It's a little bit like Westworld. Don't know if you know the show, but anyway, there are robots in that show and they keep being killed and then they come back reanimated. But no, in your case, you guys are humans. Just a weird reference that I had. But you have a guardian angel, and this guardian angel really wants you guys to just grow into yourselves and have this love story. And I think that when you guys meet each other, you'll be so possessive of each other. I mean, you know, take it to a healthy extreme, guys, but you will have the sense of, oh my God, I found you, you're mine, you know, like, finally. And it's gonna be like, yeah, new beginnings in terms of your self-worth, in terms of you want to build with this person, you want to acquire a lot of material wealth, a lot of pragmatic wealth. You know, you might want to do the whole house, getting a car, getting, you know, we need to get married, we need to have babies, we need to do all those things that other people that are in love did, and maybe we felt when we were trying to survive, when we were babies, we saw our parents or other people doing that. But you guys just were not given like a lucky hand in the survival game, I think. And also here with this death card, the death raider, I feel like death has been circling you guys for many, many different lifetimes, you know, and especially in your previous one, which I think, as I'm saying, so the most recent past life you guys had was in Portugal, somewhere in the 40s or 50s. Not even then could you survive, even though Portugal has a more mild climate, but maybe it was something related to conflicts or like civil uprisings. There was something regarding you not having enough nourishment to survive. And now you guys in this lifetime are defeating this death energy, okay? So enough with that, enough with the nostalgia. You have the life force, this Kundalini rising. Do you see it? It's like your souls have had to perish physically many times so that they would just get the anger and get the urge and get the drive to just completely, you know, it's like enough is enough. I want to live, you know, I want to live and I want to grow. And I think maybe that was the test. Maybe that was the karmic test. And now this is what you guys are being given. Union, completion, coming together, heaven on earth, falling in love, and, you know, dealing with all the nitty-grittiness of a union, you know, having that abundance, having it all, you know, combining work with parenting and, you know, being in love and having babies and getting married. And, you know, I see you guys living together. So when you will meet this person, this is going to be your person. You're not going to want anyone else. It's not going to be like, maybe, I don't know. No. It's like so possessive. Do you see how this guy is holding the coin? This is how you're going to be with your partner, and your partner is going to be the same with you because of the memory, you know? You will remember. You will feel this. First of all, you're going to feel a lot of passion for this person, and I see you guys having lots of sex, so prepare. If you're not a person that is into a lot of sex, I feel like you're just going to unleash all that pent-up energy that you guys were not able to have and that was denied in previous lifetimes, okay? Because you guys didn't even reach adulthood. We're not allowed to, you know, you died as children many, many times. And as sad as that sounds, right now, in this lifetime, you will get your completion. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so happy to give you this message, you guys. You guys, I just really hope this is going to happen, you know? I'm just telling you what I see. And yeah, it really took a while. Like, you saw how hard it was for me to actually channel the message. I feel like your souls just were so blocked, you know? Like this shitty 10 of Swords energy, you know? Like, what the... happening over and over and over again. But as I said, it was just to help you get this Kundalini rising energy. It's just like spiritually your souls had to get angry and had to decide, I want to live and I want to be in union with you. And it's going to happen in this lifetime. And I'm going to leave you with this beautiful card. Please let me know down in the comments if this resonated. I'm sure that if you're together with your partner, you might not be watching pick a card readings, but maybe you are, who knows, for confirmation or for fun, you know? And you stumble upon this message. Please let me know if this resonated in any way, or if you had dreams about this. Maybe you've been having dreams about all of these places where you traveled in your past lives, and about children as well. This is so interesting, this aspect, and so sad with, you know, your previous lifetimes as children, but you guys are being reconnected. Pray to Archangel Raphael, the healing angel. Okay guys, I'm gonna stop here because I'm running out of light. So I hope you enjoyed this message. It filled me with such positive, excellent energy, and I'm so happy to be ending with your pile. Yeah, and I hope to see you again in my next reading. I'll post something. I try to post daily, so we'll see how this goes. But I love you guys, and please take care of yourselves in the meantime. Mwah! Bye!